Hey y'all, welcome to Cooking with April Nicole. I'm your host today, Miss April Nicole. I am the owner of Miss Katie's Sweets Dessert Food Truck and April Nicole Cooks Personal Chef Services. So today I'm going to take y'all down south with me. I have the pleasure of living in beautiful Savannah, Georgia. I resided in Charleston, South Carolina, born and bred in Alabama, so I'm a certified Southern girl. So today we're going to cook for y'all some peach cobbler my way. Y'all come on and let's go. All right, y'all, so we're gonna make peach cobbler today. So we're gonna start off with peaches, of course. So little fun fact, I've had the pleasure of living in both Georgia and South Carolina. And although Georgia is known for its peaches, South Carolina actually produces more peaches. And in my opinion, they taste better. You can use frozen, fresh, whatever you decide. But today we're just gonna use some frozen peaches. We're gonna throw them in a pot. To those peaches, we're gonna add some brown sugar. We're gonna add some white sugar, a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg, you know, all the good stuff. Now this is how I grew up watching my grandmother make peach cobbler. Little lemon zest, that's the key. That's what sets this apart. We'll add a little lemon juice to it and some vanilla. Now we're gonna bring this to a slow simmer, not quite a boil, and let it all mix together. Once this marries and mixes together, we're gonna add in a little cornstarch, and that's just gonna thicken it before we put it in the oven and bake it. So let's give this a few minutes and we'll be right back to it. All right, y'all, so the peaches are over here, being happy, swimming around in all those flavors. I have a bowl. We're gonna make the crust. Now I love a crusty peach cobbler. So we're gonna start off with some all-purpose flour. To that, we're gonna add some white sugar and brown sugar, and we're gonna mix that together. Now this is where it gets fun. Butter. We're gonna take some butter and we're gonna kind of cut this in. Now, you could be fancy and cut it in with a pastry cutter. I like to use my hands. My grandma never used a lot of utensils, so we're just gonna use our hands and break that butter into the flour. We want little small crumbly bits so that when it's cooking, that butter, it just melts all together, and that crust is gonna be so bubbly, golden. It's gonna be great. So we're just gonna mix this all around with your hands, get dirty with it, and this is gonna be the crust for our peach cobbler. Now once you've gotten little fine pieces of dough like this, what we're gonna do is add in some boiling hot water. Now the boiling hot water is enough just to start to melt the butter and bring the dough together, but it'll leave that butter flavor and it won't overcook the butter for us. So that looks good, nice and crumbly. And let's add in the hot water. We'll just whisk that around. All right, so our peaches are over here talking to us. So what we're gonna do with the peaches is turn it down just a little, stir it around. Wish y'all could smell this. This smells so amazing. All right, so we're gonna add in our cornstarch. And this is gonna make like a little slurry and thicken up this sauce. Nobody wants a runny peach cobbler. My grandma never had one. I'm sure yours didn't either. Once you incorporate the cornstarch, we are gonna let this just come to a simmer so that it can do its thing and thicken up. And we'll get ready to pour it into our dish. Now with the batter, like I said, I love a crusty peach cobbler. We're gonna add a little bit to the bottom. Then we're gonna layer our peaches in the middle, and then we're gonna add some batter on top to form the crust. So while the peaches are finishing up, we're just gonna ladle a little bit of batter in the bottom of a baking dish. We're just gonna evenly spread that out in there. Now our peaches are thick. Turn this off. We're gonna pour the peaches right over top the batter. Y'all, when y'all make this, you're gonna be tempted to eat it just like this. It smells so good. All right, we're gonna put the rest of that batter on top and just spread that out evenly. To me, the crust is the best part. So I like to make sure I have lots of crust. All right, so that's that. We're gonna finish it off with a little cinnamon on top. It's gonna help brown the crust. Then we're gonna stick this into a preheated 375-degree oven for about 45 minutes until the crust is nice and golden brown and to your desired look. Y'all, we're gonna stick this in the oven and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so our peach cobbler is in the oven. In the meantime, we're gonna start on my smacking mac and cheese. Now you might be wondering, smacking? Yes, like the kids say it smacks. That's what they say about my macaroni. So to start off, we are gonna boil some water that we got back here going. I like to salt my water so that it resembles the Atlantic. Lots of salt. Your noodles will absorb it, give them some flavor. Our water is to a boil, so we're gonna add our noodles. And as you know, noodles take about 10 to 11 minutes. We want these a little al dente because they'll continue cooking in the oven. So we'll let those do their thing. In the meantime, we're gonna start on the cheese sauce. So everyone makes their macaroni and cheese a little bit different. We're not starting with the roux, we're actually just starting with the cheese sauce. So it's heavy cream base. Take a quart of heavy cream. And to that heavy cream, we're gonna add some softened cream cheese. Now, we don't want this to come to a boil, but like a slight simmer. And while that is working, we are going to season this. So here I have some garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper, paprika, mustard powder. Now you can use whatever seasonings you prefer, but if you follow this recipe to the T, it's gonna be smacking. So let this start to warm up, break up our cream cheese. It's softened, so it doesn't take much. And we're gonna get this going to like a soft boil. Now the cream cheese makes the difference. Just adds another level of flavor. To me, a lot of people's mac and cheese is just cheese. This just adds more flavor, different flavor component to it than your traditional mac and cheese. Whisk this around. And again, we're looking for a soft simmer, and then we'll add in our shredded cheeses. So I've already shredded cheddar cheese. We have here some Monterey pepper jack cheese, and then some smoked Gouda. Now you can use whatever cheeses you like. These are just my preference. So while we wait on that, what I like to do with the baking dish that I'm gonna bake the mac and cheese in is to butter it. That way the noodles don't stick. When you go to take out a serving, it comes out nice and clean. Nobody wants to leave this mac and cheese behind in a bowl. Now mac and cheese was something we ate quite often. Growing up, I feel like every Southern household eats mac and cheese. This is Sunday dinner. Never grew up with stovetop mac and cheese. Was always baked in the oven. And I feel like my grandmother was probably like one of the best cooks in the world. So just to be able to kind of emulate her recipe with my own twist makes me very ecstatic. Everyone loves this. So when you go to the cookout, you bring this, you'll definitely be invited back. All right, so this has come to a nice simmer, and we're gonna start adding our cheese. Now remember, don't add all your cheese. We need some for the top. So add about 2/3 of it. And I know you might be saying, man, this is a lot of cheese, but this is what makes it so good. All right, and we'll just save these for the top. And at this point, our cheese sauce is almost done. So we're gonna whisk this together, continue to stir, because if you don't, your cheese will burn. And we're gonna let these cheeses melt and incorporate in here. So I would turn this down at this point, continue to whisk, and let all this come together and thicken up. Y'all see that? We're almost there. All right, y'all, so we're gonna let the noodles finish coming to a boil. We're gonna strain those and add them to our pan. We're gonna add in our cheese sauce. So we'll be right back, and I'll show you how to put this together and put it in the oven. All right, y'all, so the noodles have finished and we've drained them. So we're gonna add them into our greased bacon dish. And we're gonna let these noodles cool down because we have some eggs to add to it. Now the eggs act as a binder along with the cheese. But if you add eggs to these piping hot noodles, we're gonna have scrambled eggs. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to be on the list next to raisins and potato salad for scrambled egg mac and cheese. So let these cool down. We have our cheese sauce here that came together beautifully, and we're gonna pour that in here. Scrape, y'all. You want every last bit of this golden goodness to make this mac and cheese smack. All right, so we got that in there. Just gonna give this a really good stir. Incorporate the noodles with all of the sauce. Now, when this bakes, you guys see how saucy it is, and we use heavy cream. So the heavy cream, when warm, thickens. So this is gonna thicken a little bit more in the oven. So don't worry, you won't have a runny mac and cheese. I won't do y'all like that. And then our eggs, I like to just add them in, moving them fast. That way they don't have time to scramble. And the heat from it won't cook it. It'll just start incorporating in the sauce. So we have that in there. And we're just gonna stir that around. Now that we've added the eggs, kind of tempered them into the cheese sauce. Bet y'all didn't think y'all was gonna come here and learn a few culinary words either. All right, so now that we got this all incorporated, we're gonna sprinkle cheese on top. Now, my favorite part as a kid was sitting in the living room with my grandma with a plate in my lap, with a cheese grater and a block of cheese. Because as you're grating the cheese, those little pieces that don't grate, we gotta eat. So I already pre-shredded this, but please believe I did eat me a few pieces of cheese off camera. And we're gonna, this is just the leftover cheese that we had in the sauce. Just gonna sprinkle this on top. Nice little layer. So we have, again, shredded cheddar, smoked Gouda, and then we have Monterey Jack and pepper jack blend. And kind of spread that out all over, get to the edges, because everybody loves the corner piece. And now, because we cooked the cheese sauce already, we really are just gonna put this in the oven long enough for it to come together. I know a lot of recipes calls for you to bake the mac and cheese for 45 minutes to an hour. Not in this case. We're gonna set our oven to 400 degrees and pop this in for 20 minutes. Just enough for the crust to get bubbly golden brown and the cheese sauce to thicken a little bit more. So let me go over here and throw this in the oven, and when we come back, we're gonna start on some fried chicken. All right, y'all, so now we're about to fry some chicken. Now, remember I told you that I am certified Southern. Now, we have a little saying in the South. If the person frying the chicken don't have those chicken wing arms, that chicken ain't gonna be no good, okay? So lucky for you, I got those little chicken wing arms, okay? So we're gonna start off by marinating our wings in buttermilk. That is gonna impart flavor into the wings. So just enough buttermilk in here just to cover it. Now to that, we're gonna season it, because we season our chicken, okay? With more than just salt and pepper. We're gonna start off though with a little salt and pepper. We got some onion and garlic powder, a little smoked paprika, and I like to add in yellow mustard. I use this as a binder to help the seasoning stick to the chicken, and the vinegar in the mustard is gonna help break down and tenderize the chicken. So whether it's wings or whole breast or anything like that, like mustard will help you with your chicken. Hot sauce. Add to the flavor, gives it a little kick, but it won't make it spicy. But also it's vinegar based and it's just gonna help tenderize the chicken. Now, I like to add egg to mine. Again, just another binder to help. We want the seasonings to stick to the chicken. When you bite into that chicken and the crust of it, you want all that flavor. You want it all to bind together. You don't want the batter to fall off of your fried chicken. All this is gonna help you. So we're just gonna add a couple of eggs in there. And then taking a page from Korean fried chicken, I'm just gonna add a little cornstarch. And that's just gonna help make this crispy. So not only are we adding cornstarch to the chicken itself, but we're also gonna add that to the flour that we're gonna batter the chicken in. So with this, you can be bougie and use a spoon, but I like to get down and dirty. So we're gonna mix this all together. I'm gonna go wash my hands and then we'll come back, batter the chicken and start frying it. All right, y'all, so we're about to fry this chicken. Now, to your flour, you add all the seasonings that you added to your chicken. They need to match so that the seasonings are consistent, okay? So we have garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, salt, pepper, cornstarch, all added to our all-purpose flour, and we got that mixed in here. So, chicken, we've let it marinate in the buttermilk, and we're going to dredge it in the flour. Take a few pieces. Now, I don't personally like to double dip, but some people do. If you like extra crunchy chicken, by all means. But if you're like me, you can stop right here. Now, you can be fancy, pull out a thermometer and test your oil, right? But Big Mama didn't do that. Always did the flour test. That flour is sizzling in there. That means our oil is ready. So we're gonna stay authentic to that and go ahead and fry this chicken. You don't wanna overcrowd your pan. So we're gonna add a few pieces in at a time. Now this is more like shallow frying because in the cast iron skillet, we don't put too much oil in there so it won't completely cover the chicken. But again, this is just authentic to how I ate fried chicken growing up. When that cast iron skillet came out, you knew we were about to have fried chicken and it was gonna be delicious. If you have a deep fryer that you wanna use, by all means, you do you, but this is how we're gonna do it here. So we're gonna fry this chicken up. We're looking for golden brown consistency. And once this finishes, I will show you everything put together with the mac and cheese and that peach cobbler. Be right back. All right, y'all, so all of our hard work has paid off. We have our smacking mac and cheese, our delicious peach cobbler, and this beautifully golden fried chicken wings. So this is reminiscent of Sunday dinner, missing a few sides, but y'all get the gist. Add this into your repertoire, impress your family and friends. This is really, really good. I'm gonna show y'all the smacking mac and cheese. Came together beautifully. Very cheesy. The sauce is amazing. Gonna add a little bit of chicken here. All flats over here. And cannot go without the dessert. I told y'all I like my peach cobbler real crusty. That's the best part to me. So y'all see that crust on there? Man. Y'all, this to me embodies my whole childhood, my whole upbringing, deep Southern cooking, delicious peach cobbler, golden fried chicken, mac and cheese. Y'all continue to follow me. I am, again, April Nicole. Y'all can check me out on social media. April Nicole Cooks on Facebook. Cooking with April Nicole on Instagram. My food truck, we do desserts, Miss Katie Sweets. Y'all, we're gonna have some more Southern recipes for y'all. Y'all just stay tuned. Thank y'all.